Hey guys, yeah, I'm KairosTime. Sorry, the Brawl News guy, he's not there. I think that there's some sort of writer's strike going on. Some guy named Jerry got fired. Apparently it's a big deal at the Brawl News station, or I imagine you guys still want to see some Brawl Olympic stuff, so I'm just gonna kind of do my thing with or without the Brawl News guys. Hope you enjoy. Hello fellow brawlers, I'm KairosTime, and it is time for another Brawl Olympics! Yes guys, today we're going to be looking at all of the brawlers and comparing their damage per second. Now for the rankings in this video guys, we are going to take all of the brawlers and we are going to be pitting them against each other in a race to see how quickly they can take out a safe in Heist completely by themselves. Now we will be allowing brawlers to use their star powers as well, but it's important that no enemy brawler may be damaged in the making of this video. Now on top of the rankings, we're also going to be taking the information used from 2 other Brawl Olympics events to calculate the actual damage per second of the brawlers. Now if you haven't already seen the videos on which attacks deal the most damage and which brawlers reload fastest, make sure you check them out. There's some fantastic Brawl Olympics events. And of course guys, don't forget to subscribe for even more Brawl Olympics events. Believe it or not, I actually still have a lot of them planned, so we're in for a great ride. Okay guys, let's go ahead and get this started here. We are taking a look at the 3 lowest damage per second brawlers. That's right, it is a race between Poco, Jesse, and Mortis. Now it's important here that as they approach the safe that they do need to do that little bit of a spin, kind of get close right there and wait for the gunfire, and there is the gunfire. They are on a race there to deal as much damage to the safe as they possibly can, as quickly as they can, and it looks like, is Jesse in the lead? It's hard to tell. They're all at 77% right there at that very exact second. It looks like they're some of them are reserving some of their shots and some are trying to get rid of it as fast as they possibly can, like Mortis right there. Poco seems to be chilling. He's just like having a fun time playing his guitar. And guys, we're like almost 30 seconds into this and they're only halfway. Holy cow. Talk about slow. Now, the saves do have 30,000 damage that each of these brawlers do have to meld through. They cannot use other brawlers. They have to do it by themselves. And with these brawlers that deal so little damage, it's definitely a struggle. As you can see right here, we are experiencing this and seeing exactly what's going to happen. It is coming up close right here. It looks like maybe Jessie is going to take that first position. 4% left right here. She just has 1% left. Is she going to be 19th? She is 19th. And then here we have a split tie, super close, not exactly a tie, but definitely does look very close between Mortis and Poco. That's right guys, Mortis actually comes in dead last for this tournament. He has a very low damage per second of 448 damage, which really is not very much. But not far behind him is Poco with a damage per second of 486. And then, of course, guys, we have Jesse with 499 damage per second. Let's go ahead and see who we have next. It looks like we have Crow, Nita, and Penny. Now, they are just getting into position at this point, trying to get, looks like, okay, I was just going to say, if Nita doesn't do that spin, then she's disqualified because it's super important. She's not actually disqualified, but here they are. They are in position. They're ready to go, and looks like there's the gunfire. They are going at this as fast as they possibly can. Now, Crow seems to be at a little bit of a lead, at an advantage. Will he be able to maintain that for the rest of this duration? I think that he may actually be able to. Now, interestingly enough, Crow does 702 damage per second with his attacks. Now, his regular attack actually only calculates to 652 damage per second, but there is 1 tick of poison every other second, which adds an additional 49 damage per second with every single tick of that poison, which is just incredible right here. It does look like this is going to be a clear-cut position right here. Looks like Crow is going to come in 16th place right there at 38.2 seconds. Then we have Nita here at 17th place, and Penny, she's taking her time. In fact, she's taking her sweet time. I feel like I could go out for lunch right here at this point, but she's getting close right there. 2%. I just feel bad for her, guys. She's just doing the best that she possibly can. Now, as a quick recap, we do have Penny in 18th place with 511 damage per second, Nita in 17th with 661 damage per second, and Crow in 16th place, including his poison, dealing 702 damage per second. Okay, guys, taking 15th through 13th place, we have, in no particular order, we have Bo, Barley, and Tara. This is going to be an interesting one here. It looks like Bo's coming up to the safe in first place there. That doesn't really count, but he's there at least, which is good to know. They're ready for the gun, and there is the gunfire. They're going as fast as they possibly can. All at 83% there for just a second. This seems to be a really close race, actually. They are going hand in hand, neck and neck, doing the best that they can to try and get an advantage. Spinning. Some of them are spinning even as fast as they possibly can. Bo, he is going crazy right next to his friend Jesse, Dragon Knight Jesse over onto the left there, just going crazy this entire time, trying to deal as much damage as he possibly can. And it looks like he does have a lead. Is he going to be able to take that 13th place? He just might. He's hitting those shots as fast as he possibly can. He is at 5%, and oh my gosh, with 1% left, he has to reload an entire other shot, guys. And that means that we are going to have Barley in 15th place with 730 damage per second, Bo in 14th place with 767 damage per second, and Tara in 13th place with less damage per second at 730 damage per second, which is just crazy. Now we will notice a couple of things right here. Bo actually has a higher DPS than both Barley and Tara, but the math just was not in his favor. The fact that the safe was left with 12 HP meant that he had to require extra time to reload an entire other shot before he was able to shoot that out, despite him having more damage per second. For that, guys, I gotta say Bo is not a fan of math like your friend KairosTime. Now, Barley and Tara actually do tie for 730 damage per second, but there are 2 places between the two of them. How is it possible? The actual difference is the fact that Tara deals all 1680 damage in one quick burst, while it takes time for Barley's poison to complete both ticks of damage. That extra time was the difference between 13th and 15th place for them, guys. Okay, guys, next we have Dynamite, Brock, and Piper. Now, it looks like Piper's actually getting some assistance from her friend Shelley over there, breaking through there so she can use the bush. She's double checking, making sure she can actually hit that safe right there, and it looks like it is at perfect distance, and there she checks. The bullet goes off, and she is firing it as fast as she possibly can right here, but it looks like Dynamite is actually dealing damage slightly faster than the other 2 brawlers. Brock is going in there. He does have his star power to help him out with those flames. They do 240 damage twice per shot, which does help a lot, and those flames do actually stack right there. Dynamite does seem to have a pretty decent advantage over there. He's at 7%. Is he gonna be able to do it? No, he is at 1%, and he needs one more shot right there to place him in 10th place. Piper is not far off with 11th place, and then Brock is in that 12th place with a damage per second of 808. He gets 616 without the fire that he gets from his star power, and the fire adds 192 damage per second, or a tick of flame every 1.25 seconds. Piper lands in that 11th place with her star power, dealing 930 damage per second at max range, and when she is hiding in that bush. Now, 792 of that damage per second is her regular shot, and the star power adds an additional 138 damage per second. Dynamite actually starts the countdown from 10, dealing 1064 damage per second. Okay, guys, up next in no particular order, we have Shelley, Frank, and Colt. Looks like Colt and Shelley are actually just waiting for Frank here. With good looks like his, I imagine he's been on some sort of dinner date and is a little bit late or something, but he's ready to do his spin. There he goes, and that means that they are ready for that gunfire. And there's the gunfire. They are going as fast as they possibly can, dealing damage to the safe quickly. Shelley seems to be taking somewhat of an advantage or a lead, but it does look like Colt may be able to pass her up. No, he is not quite able to. She is down to 37% ahead of both of the other brawlers. It's going to be tricky for them to try and catch up to them. It looks like she might actually take this next position. Here we go with just one more shot, 2%, 7th place for Shelley. Holy cow, guys. Okay, guys, now here we actually have Frank taking 9th place with a damage per second of 1,120. Now, technically, Frank actually has more damage per second than Shelley does, but due to how the reload speed was actually calculated, and regarding his shot delay before he actually lands damage, it actually puts him back a couple of spots. Now, Frank's star power does not help him in this competition because of the rule stating that contestants cannot deal any damage to an enemy brawler, and that means there is no way for him to harvest those souls so he can deal more damage. Colt takes 8th place with a damage per second of 1,069, and Shelley takes 7th place, dealing 1,105 damage per second. Okay, guys, we are getting close here. This is a race between 4th and 6th position right here, and it looks like Pam, she's struggling a little bit. They're getting up there. We got Pam, El Primo, and Ricochet getting into position right here. Now, Ricochet, he's actually going to use this wall right here and bounce those off so he can use his star power. There is the fire. They are ready to go, bouncing off shots off the walls in Ricochet's situation, but it doesn't look like it's actually helping him too much. He seems to be struggling against both Pam and El Primo, but it is a neck and neck tie between El Primo and Pam. Really tricky to say who's actually going to win right here. They actually have the same DPS, but it looks like Pam wins. Then we have El Primo, and Ricochet actually takes 6th place for this tournament, guys. Now, Ricochet takes that 6th place with a DPS of 1,180, and without his star power, he'd actually be missing 200 damage per second, which would place him in 12th position normally. So he's actually benefited quite a bit from his star power. El Primo takes 5th place with a DPS of 1,440, and Pam, also with 1,440, takes 4th place. Now the question is, how did El Primo actually lose to Pam when he has the same DPS? Now in this event, contestants are actually given the use of those first 3 shots already loaded. This means that even though El Primo does have a much faster reload speed than Pam, the fact that Pam's 3 shots that each deal 1,000 more damage than El Primo's, and the fact that she has them locked and loaded and ready to go, means that she will beat him because she does not have to take the time to reload those 3 shots. Now, if this competition was started with each of the brawlers having used all 3 of those shots and being required to recharge them, then Pam and El Primo should actually have a very close tie. But in this case, Pam takes 4th place, and El Primo is going to have to live with 5th. Okay, guys, here we go. We are ready for the championship for this. This is absolutely crazy. Can you remember which brawlers have not been mentioned so far? If you cannot, or if you can, go ahead and put it down in the comment section which brawler you think is going to be number 1. Ready? Let's go. That's right, guys. The competition is going to be between Bull, Daryl, and Spike. A surprise to this competition here. Now, Bull looks like he's actually receiving damage from the other brawlers to try and use his star power. That is crazy. We're going to have to check the rules later on to see if that's actually allowed. They're going as fast as they possibly can. Bull already has it below the 50%. They're knocking it down quickly, and it looks like Bull is actually going to take 1st place. Holy cow. Then we have Daryl in 2nd and Spike in 3rd. Okay, guys, now Spike actually takes 3rd place, dealing damage against the safe with 5 and sometimes even 6 spikes worth of damage, ranging from 3,360 damage to 4,032 damage per shot. Now, typically against a brawler, the most damage that Spike could do would be 2,016 damage, which is the equivalent of 3 spikes worth of damage, which would give him a damage per second of 877. Now, this would actually place him in 12th place, but the competition is not against brawlers, it is against the safe, and the safe has a much bigger hitbox, and there is a chance for you to deal that much damage against the safe with Spike, and therefore Spike takes 3rd. Daryl takes 2nd place with the highest normal DPS in the game of 1,680 damage per second. Now, Daryl doesn't need any fancy star powers or the safe with a huge hitbox to deal this kind of damage, which is super impressive. All he really needs are his 2 shotguns and to be up close and personal with somebody. One pro tip: never give Daryl a hug. Okay, guys, now normally Bull has a DPS of 1,474 damage, which technically places him in 3rd place. I mean, that's pretty fantastic, that's really great, but he did actually technically receive damage in order to get 1st, which, I mean, well, actually, I don't know if that's against the rules, so we're gonna have to check that. Here we got the official Brawl Olympics rules and regulations 2018. Looks like we actually need a little bit more ink. Hey Cheryl, can we get some more ink? Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at this here. Looking at these rules here. Brawlers may not deal damage to an enemy brawler. See subsection KHQ for receiving damage. Okay. If a brawler may receive damage to unleash their potential with a unique ability or star power, they may do so to increase damage. If damage is dealt to an enemy brawler, they will be disqualified. Well, guys, looks like it counts. Bull took first. With his star power activating his rage mode, Bull doubles his DPS, which brings his damage per second to an insane 2,948 damage. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you join my Discord server for all things Brawl Stars related. We have some sweet fan artists posting content frequently, a place for you to look for players to play with, as well as a place to advertise bands or even find a band. There's an invite link in the description of this video, and before I end this, I wanted to give a huge thank you to those that helped me with recording this gameplay, including Portal, Illustria, Cradu, and Christina. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more. For now, this is KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you in Brawl Stars.